Hello again. I've got another couple of tips for using your Stamparatus with your Big Shot. So together they're awesome tools to have, and so what I'm going to show you real quick is I love this set. It's called the Petal Palette set. Okay, it's one of my favorites. I just find it really beautiful for all kinds of situations. Thank you, best wishes, thank you for everything. Some things are just meant to be, like the two of you. So anniversary, wedding, congratulatory, I just love you. So anniversary, so best wishes, you know, for a birthday. So really, this is an all occasion set, and I just love it. I love the soft highs and lows of the stamp sets, because the stamps have deeper images. They're kind of like the that new distinctive style where you have a high and a low, and it makes it look somewhat watercolored. So you'll see in this bird, there's highs where it's darker and more gray tones. So it's really a cool set. I just love it. But anyway, I'll show you a couple of cards I made, and then we'll jump into what I did. This first one, well, actually, I'll start with this one. This one, I just love the two-tone light sepia colors, and so I used crumb cake on the back, and I flicked some spots on there by putting a little bit of ink in the lid of my stamp pad, and then I used my aqua painter and added a little bit of water to that ink, so it made it a little soupy, I guess is the best way to describe it. Then I took the paper and I used my finger and I tapped the pen all over on it. And it just made it look like it's a little tea stained, I guess. So it's not so bright and stark. So anyway, that's a great, easy way to add just a little depth to your project. But I did use a little bit of the doily and some of our copper ribbon that I stretched apart and made the fibers show. The little bird I stamped in, oh my goodness, I'll have to post what color that is, but I really liked how it blended with the crumb cake. Can't think right now, but it's one of the darker browns, and you know, just experiment, because honestly any color would look beautiful on that. And even if you stamped off and made it a little softer image, you could do that. So, you know, lots of options to that. I want to say it was soft suede. That's what it was, soft suede and crumb cake. So anyway, there's that one. And then I used the little bird. I used the die cut to cut him out and pop him up. And then on the inside, I just stamped a few of the leaves real softly, and put a handcrafted just for you stamp on the back. So there's that one. And this one I experimented a little bit more with lots of layers. This is the new gingham, or not gingham, new little polka dotted ribbon. I added some silver thread that's kind of just, you just wrap it around your fingers and then twist and then kind of lay it all out and put your project on it. I added some Wink of Stella to the roses, just add a little sheen. But otherwise, if you're going to make several of this card, with this one it's super easy, because you could put thank yous, you could make best wishes, you could do from the heart, congratulatory. So you could make 4 or 5 different sayings and create a set to give to someone. So if you're going to create the same, duplicate the same card, but just change out the saying, here's a great way to do that. What I've done is when I showed you earlier how, let's see, is that showing well? Yeah. So when I showed you how to cut a die out, it leaves this negative space on a piece of cardboard or cardstock. So what I'm doing is using this as a template, and that way I can duplicate this card many times. And how I do that is you would cut out several of these shapes, which is basically this this shape right here. If I can figure out which way it goes. There, like that. And so when you cut this out, then it's perfect to lay right in that template, and you're ready to stamp them off. I previously set this up, so what I did is I set the stamp right inside of this opening, pulled my plate down, picked it up, and there we go. It's set and ready to go. So now all I have to do is, which by the way, I love putting a case underneath that to support it. So now all I have to do is slip that in there. And because I'm using Stampin' Blends on the flowers, I have to use a Memento stamp pad. So if you're using Stampin' Blends, make sure you're using the correct black ink, which is Memento. So now this is just ready to stamp up. The beauty of this is that if we don't get a clear, sharp image the first time, it's in here and it's set up and it's not going to move, and we can stamp it again and again. So we'll go ahead and stamp this down, kind of press on all the edges, and I just hold that, and there we go. Now see, I didn't push on this little corner. Do you see that, where this is kind of light through here? So I'm going to go ahead and first of all, I'll go ahead and put this down. Now without the Stamparatus, we would not be able to second stamp it because you would never get it lined up. That's probably the best selling point to this, is that you can always re-stamp over something and it'll be perfectly aligned. Now we did a really great job on this, but again, if we wanted to have this a little darker, all we'd have to do is add a little bit of ink and put it back down. Okay. Now, there we go. And this pops out and we're ready to go with another one. What I've done is I've kept this completely in this corner, and I haven't used magnets because I haven't needed to with this cardstock. Typically with photopolymer, it will adhere to the paper and it'll want to come up with the stamp. But rubber, it doesn't tend to stick to the paper, so it doesn't move around a lot. So you don't always need your magnets when using rubber stamps. I did put a little shim in here to lift this up a little bit because I felt like I wasn't getting a great image, and that way it just elevated just ever so slightly so that I got a nice stamp. So, you know, you could use a piece of cardstock, you could use, you know, whatever you want to use, and every one is going to be a little bit different. I'm kind of, I'm very specific. I want things to be perfect. So to me, it was important for me to get a nice image each time. So by adding this little shim, it just helped to pull that image closer to the stamp as I lowered the top. So again, I think that's it. So now this is all ready to color and put on, and I could have these all assembled, and then these are already ready to go. The reason I suggest this way of having a bunch of these pieces cut out and then using this little guide here is because it's much easier. You can go at a much faster rate if you have these to plop it in and then you stamp it. Take it out, put another one in, stamp it. They're all going to be perfect because you've pre-aligned this stamp to go with this cutout. So when you slip that in, it's going to come out perfect every time. If you stamp first and then cut out, that's okay if you're going to do maybe 1 or 2, but to get this perfectly aligned all the way around so it's not off as you roll it through, you know, you may be fine, but it may be off too. So if you're going to do multiples, I would suggest doing it this way. If you're going to do 1 or 2, then do it the other way where you stamp and then cut out. So just another option if you're going to do multiples, like I do several thank you cards. So for me, it's easier if I do several of these at once. It just helps me duplicate much quicker. So hopefully that helps. And I've got some another gift idea I wanted to share with you. I'll quick wipe this off real quick. These chamois, we do sell a chamois in the catalog. I had this before the new ones came out. These are sold near the automotive section. So if you want to use one of these, it's fine. The new ones are great too that we sell. So whatever works for you. But I will show you real quick a great gift idea. And so remember when I mentioned where you could make multiples of these with different sayings and then package it as a gift? Well, check this out. Okay, that is this. And these plastic boxes, they're acetate, are sold on page 193, and you get 10 boxes for $7. I have put in here 5 cards. I would probably just put in 4 because honestly I think 5 is a little bit too thick. But I created a little belly band that you can slide off and on just to, you know, decorate your case. It's just a simple 2-inch wide piece that I created to slip on, and it coordinates with all these stamps or all these cards. And so for anyone, this is a great gift idea. Teachers, nurses, you know, your parents, babysitter, you name it. These are amazingly nice gifts. And when you consider the cost of greeting cards these days, this is easily a $20, $25 gift because cards these days are around $5 a piece. So what I did is I decorated the envelopes to match, and which is super simple. You just put a little glue on and put it on and then trim around the base, and then you've got a beautiful matching envelope. Super simple, but it dresses it up. So here's one I made with the, this set that I created is using the Rooted in Nature set, which is like one of my most favorites right now. And so I used the tree, stamped it, and I cut out another one behind it just to give it a little bit of a shadow effect. I stamped on remember when I showed you the paper here, the Wood Textures DSP, I used a little piece of that and stamped on that behind it. This is a simple card, popped up the tree. Inside I just put a little strip of the DSP to coordinate. So there's that card. And this is another one called Thinking of You, and I just put a little strip of the burlap. And then we have these beautiful little golden, or they're actually brass and silver leaves, embellishments. So super easy. Stamped the tree a couple times in there, the center of the tree, and coordinated the envelope to that one. Here's another one, words are never enough. That could be a sympathy card. It could be a, you know, thank you. I mean, words are never enough to thank people. So I used the embossing behind here and then added some of the paper that comes in this suite. So, and then just very simple. So I like to leave a lot of space to write. I don't like to put a lot of words inside. Here's another one, and I just stamped and cut out all the leaves. And this worked out beautiful too, just to add a little splash of leaves. Added a little strip of the burlap ribbon, and this one opened that way, and I put some leaves inside. Decorated this to kind of coordinate, and there you go. And this one was fun. I just stamped the trees several times in 2 different colors and cut 2 trees out. Added the little leaves there, and and then just put some DSP on that one to match. So there you go. And here's a couple more. I think you saw this on my Facebook. It was a very simple, but I stamped on the wood textures paper with different colors of the leaves and created kind of my own DSP, honestly. Then stamped those in the inside, and then again put the paper on the envelope to make it look fancy. And then this is another one. This was really turned out kind of pretty. I love the colors in it. This is to thank you for all you do. I cut out little 1-inch stitched embossed framelits, and then cut out the little leaves and put those on and made it very simple, but it looks super fancy. So there are those. So we'll pick 4, let's see, and put them in the envelope, back in the envelope. And again, these are 10 for $7. They come with a plastic wrap on the outside, so they won't get scratched until you take that little plastic piece off. And then you can take it off right before you give your gift. And then go ahead and slide the belly band back on. Maybe, maybe not. No, I'll get it on there. I probably made this a little tight, but I didn't want it to fall off. So there we go. And then there's that gift ready to go just for you. So I would highly recommend this as a gift, because it is just, I mean, who wouldn't love these made from you as a gift? And for someone like in an office situation, how awesome would this be to give to somebody to have in their desk drawer to pull out for somebody lost their parent, or somebody had a birthday, or you know, you want to thank somebody for all the work that they go through. So great gift idea, cheap packaging. So give it from the heart. It's the best way to do it. So hopefully I've answered some questions, given you lots to think about. And if you have any questions, look me up at Stampin' with Trish, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.